Now, when I look at your name, I always talk to my staff about this. I say, are you sure you pronounce his name Ferriero? But when I look at it, it should be Ferriero. Ferriero, but that's the way I would pronounce it. But why is it pronounced Ferriero?
I'm sure that it's a result of a mispronunciation many, many years ago. Two brothers came to the States. One went to Medford, Massachusetts, where Mike Bloomberg's family went. And the other went to Beverly, Massachusetts. The people in Medford are Ferriero. The people in Beverly are Ferriero. And that's how we tell each other apart.
Mike, you mentioned Mike Bloomberg, the mayor of New York City?
Medford, Massachusetts.
Oh, really? How about that? Committee rules require that all witnesses at nomination hearings give their testimony under oath. And I'm going to ask Mr. Ferriero, would you please stand and raise your right hand at this time? And I'll do the same. Mr. Ferriero, do you swear that the testimony you will give before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Very well. Thank you. You're recognized. Please proceed. And again, all of your statement will be made part of the record. Welcome.
Chairman Carper, committee staff, family, friends, and members of the gallery. I'm triply blessed to be claimed by three home states, Massachusetts, North Carolina, and New York, and especially proud to have Kay Hagan say those kind words in my name. At my current institution, the New York Public Library, Senator Schumer from New York has been incredibly helpful in helping us prepare for our 100th anniversary of the opening of the flagship library on Fifth Avenue, and I want to acknowledge his support of the New York Public Library. I appear before you today, the proud grandson of Italian immigrants and the great-grandson of Irish immigrants. It is a humbling experience to be called to service by the President of the United States, an experience which allows, indeed forces one, to reflect upon all the individuals and opportunities which have gotten me to this moment. The product of an outstanding public education system in Beverly, Massachusetts, I attended Northeastern University, the nation's leading cooperative education program. My father worked at least 2 jobs, often 3 throughout my childhood. My mother took a job cleaning floors at Beverly Hospital to ensure that I could go to college. The cooperative education program gave me an education and my first experience with research libraries, which set the stage for a career spanning more than 40 years. A 4-year enlistment in the United States Navy, including a year in Vietnam, afforded me the opportunity to be trained as a hospital corpsman with a specialty in neuropsychiatry. The Navy provided me with a set of people skills that I use every day of my life. My work experience in 3 of the nation's leading institutions has provided me with a set of professional credentials of particular value to the National Archives and Records Administration. At MIT, where I started shelving books in 1965 and left having served as acting co-director of libraries. At Duke, where I was university librarian, and at the New York Public Library, where I serve as the Andrew W. Mellon Director of Libraries. I've had administrative responsibilities for institutional archives and records management programs. In all 3 settings, I've had preservation and conservation experience, including creating the preservation program at Duke. Most importantly, I've experienced and managed aspects of technological transformation over the years in all 3 environments. The mission of the archives is to safeguard and preserve the records of our government, ensuring that people can discover, use, and learn from this documentary heritage. Carved into the north facade of the archives building a few blocks from us, the mission is expressed more simply. This building holds in trust the records of our national life and symbolizes our faith in the permanency of our national institutions. This is an awesome responsibility, and at the same time, given the impact of technology on these records, an exciting challenge for one who spent his career managing change. Robert Diggs Wimberly Connor, as Kay Hagan mentioned, our nation's first archivist in 1934, surveyed 225 buildings whose records would be housed in the new archives building, some 1.4 million cubic feet of records. To quote Connor, 45% of the total are infested with silverfish, cockroaches, and other insects, rats, mice, and other vermin, and exposed to such hazards as dirt, rain, sunlight, theft, and fire. More than 46% of the total were in depositories that were dark, dirty, badly ventilated, crowded, and without facilities for work. Typical was the case of valuable records relating to Indian affairs, which were found on dust-covered shelves, mingled higgledy-piggledy with empty whiskey bottles, pieces of soap, rags, and other trash. In another depository crowded with archives of the government, the most prominent object to one entering the room was the skull of a dead cat protruding from under a pile of valuable records. If a cat with 9
You're not making this stuff up, are you?
It's from the UNC archives.
Must be true.
If a cat with 9 lives to risk in the cause of history could not survive the conditions of research in the depositories of our national archives, surely the poor historian with only 1 life to give to his country may be excused if he declines to take the risk. We've come a long way since 1934 when Connor's survey was completed, but I would suggest that we are at a similar defining moment with regard to our existing electronic records, social media, communications, and emerging technologies being used throughout government offices. The vermin and insects have been replaced by a variety of software packages, platforms, and old technologies. The lack of standards, even in the same agencies, add to the complexity of the problem. The ability of the archives to fulfill its mission in the electronic environment is just one of the many challenges on the agenda for the new archivist. Of equal concern are issues of collection security, the future of the presidential library system, backlogs in processing, job satisfaction, stakeholder relationships, preservation, and storage, to name but a few. I promise to you all that if confirmed, I will work hard to ensure that I carry out my responsibilities in a professional, nonpartisan, and collegial manner. I would ask at the same time for your support as I work through this ambitious agenda. It's been 40 years since my last commitment to serve my country. A more mature and seasoned servant asks for your confirmation.
It's a great statement. Great statement.